Me amabere wa bi na kan asem wo se obia mpamo na nso wati kobe kunkunkum bra wadi bone wodi bone na akọ obia ma kwa twa ni wan na ba hon sa na abusia na no da ensem sisi ye ne nyina anim sem vet na se to kwane ade na speaker of parliament by an say hey my suspend way ama Justin Fipoko Justin Yesu intim NPP national leaders executives amode ye press conference say another mpeni nipa omo asuspend omo MPP de omo entiase ne tiase china enti another na omo kwositi no ombeba munyina be march said omo ko 6 of March 1957 abe piem na omo ba mra se bedwom na de be sinsi ana speaker ne pan 40 ya no mko sa police fo si pampi ana ewuram kura ko jabo se woro ne ade a ne no ana speaker hwe ja eguni chimpen okotena se na o mia kura me se maka nso menwe monye de mia na meka se ma suspend wo mo tin tontan be jai suspension na sitting munyina momra MPP for momra se na no na ziga as hackers you people say speaker decision will take na me say ohun ne kon hun ne nan hun ne nchemu because wa gasa what committee wa gasa nso wa say yi manfo suspend wo na je say committee no ti ye den ene ono so akasa pa na abusua de akwaso na akasa ne yenye brane yentie na so kira wadwo komese wo fa piso e ma ye no wahye so aka wo ye no wase se bibia hwe ye nua wa ma ne yenkyam na mase medin Ede Robert obetimi afrem Robbie na ya de wase pa ye fa si ane yenkoko ti nsem na akasa don se nsem no suko yenkoko ti na kira wadwo komese so
of orders you have issued as a result of the formal communication you have given. But this is what we have to say, and I quote from Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice. Mr. Speaker, you remember the story of Shylock when he demanded his pound of flesh. A plea came from Portia, who was the supposed counsel for the debtor. Mr. Speaker, this is what he had to say, and I rely on it to mount the next line of my submission. That the quality of mercy is not strained, it droppeth as a gentle rain from heaven upon the earth beneath. It is twice blessed. It blessed him that gives and him that takes. Mr. Speaker, we cannot take your power to discipline from you. But we believe that when this is tempered with assurance that the way forward will be better, you will be able to reinstate our colleagues who temporarily have been denied access to this chamber and the precincts of Parliament. Ours is not to undermine your authority. After all, it is the confidence we had in you that made us by consensus to vote you into office. And we accept your authority. Mr. Speaker, we do not think that we should litigate this matter even on procedure. We are more interested in the outcome, which is not a desired outcome. Today, I, on behalf of my caucus, would want to assure the public that such an action will not be seen in the public space again. Mr. Speaker, I take full responsibility as a leader on my side on all actions that took place. I will therefore conclude by inviting you, Mr. Speaker, to, in the circumstance and with assurances given, to consider a rescission of the decision you communicated to the House, as well as all consequential matters thereto. Mr. Speaker, without more, I shall thank you for hearing me and resume my seat. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, I believe this statement we need your comments, and depending on how you want it to be handled, I would prefer it's handled at the leadership level and not beyond that. But this is your house, and not only my house. I am duty bound to maintain law and order. And so I will allow the majority leader to have a say on this matter.
Speaker, the popular saying is that to err is human. To forgive is speakerly. Mr. Speaker, as you can see, I have replaced divine with speaker. That elevates you to an almost godly stature. My colleague, the minority leader, has spoken. He has recounted the happenings of Thursday and Friday. So, Speaker, it is a fact that the first time His Excellency John Dramani Mahama nominated the first time the first set of ministerial nominees were announced was on the 9th of January 2025. Today, Mr. Speaker, is the 4th of February 2025. We are not yet even 1 month into the administration of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. But, Mr. Speaker, we have vetted and approved a number of ministers, but overall, we have vetted and by the close of today, would have approved 42 ministerial nominees out of 60. The reason why we are even at 42 is because since Friday, we have not yet received any additional nominations. So in effect, we have finished vetting and hope to conclude the approval of 42 nominees to ministerial appointments. As a matter of fact, all those who have been nominated to serve as the cabinet of the government have actually been vetted and some approved by this House. This is a record performance that this House should be proud of itself. And we have done so in spite of the theatrics and the drama, with the cooperation and support of our colleagues on the minority side. If in the process there have been some incidents, they are regrettable. And so, Mr. Speaker, I will support the appeal of my colleague, the minority leader, that you temper justice with mercy. I agree that your decision to suspend some colleagues was timely, and I believe that it has been understood by the generality of Ghanaians as a step that restored the image of this parliament. And so, Mr. Speaker, I believe that your action has achieved its objectives. But as you can see, our colleagues are remorseful. Our colleagues accept your decision in good faith. And our colleagues are appealing to you to review your decision to suspend your suspension, to reconsider your decision to suspend. Mr. Speaker, it is not only members of the minority side that were suspended. In fact, the chief whip of the majority side was also suspended. So clearly, the conduct was on both sides. And I also, on behalf of my side, appeal to you to reconsider your decision and lift the suspensions so that our colleagues can join us, whilst the other measures that you are putting in place so that long term we can ensure the orderly conduct of business in this House is achieved. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, I'm sure the first thing you have realized is that I have restored the title Honourable. The day I read my former communication to you and proceeded to suspend the 4 members, I never used the term honourable. I have done so now because your leaders actually came to me to plead that I temper justice with mercy. If any of you here is not remorseful, please be on your feet. Honourable members, Honorable member, you are not, please. Honorable member. Very, very important. And I can tell you, I understand and appreciate what is happening. This house is often referred to as a house of might and majesty. Might, because it's the combination of the sovereignty of all the people in the country. Majesty, because the king or queen is part of the house. And therefore, there can be no power higher than that of Parliament. And the person who represents Parliament is the Speaker. And so I sit here and I exercise your powers, and I create an environment for you to be able to perform your function. And I go according to the rules. You can disagree with the Speaker, and the rules and the laws of Ghana permit you to do so, and also details out the procedure on how to handle the disagreement. But the rules are very clear as to what they refer to as disorder or contempt of Parliament. And for me to preserve and uphold that might, majesty, and dignity of the House, I should not shed any responsibility in applying and enforcing the rules. And that was exactly what I did. Even though some of the members are my personal friends, I refer to as sons. So please, you can ask your leaders when they approach me with this. Yes, as a father, when your son commits an offense, you don't punish the son to the extent that you break his or her leg. That becomes a big problem for you, the father. And nobody is perfect. We are all fallible. So I listened to the apology, and here it was repeated by the minority leader for and on behalf of the members of the caucus, and supported by the majority leader. It's not only words. Before me, they demonstrated and assured me of their total support to me and the deputy speakers to ensure that we have an efficient and an effective functioning parliament in Ghana. So I am satisfied with not just the statement, but also their conduct. And I will proceed to lift the suspension of the 4 members of Parliament that I considered were involved in disorderly conduct which amounted to contempt. The rules are very clear, and I did refer to them and stated clearly that because we are in the transitional mood, we will not be able to put committees in place, including that of the Privileges and Immunities Committee. And the standing orders grant me the power and authority to do what I did. And clearly, the jurisprudence are very clear that when contempt is committed in facie curia, you don't proceed to set up another committee or court or whatever to investigate and submit a report.